It's that time again, Our Town Live, where friends, family, people you know, and others you'd rather not know share with us their unique bits of wisdom. And now, here's Herb, your host, for another show.
Sandi Cohen is originally from Philadelphia, and like the signers of the Declaration of Independence, has always been a leader and a take-charge lady. She studied education at Temple University and went into teaching when she graduated. She volunteered to be the first white female teacher at an all-black school in North Philadelphia. She retired from teaching after a few years to raise a family. She's been happily married to Ed for over 58 years. Together they have 2 sons and 5 wonderful grandchildren. They now reside in beautiful Lake Las Vegas, where the sun shines every day. Her entrepreneurial side came out in 1978 when she started a medical and surgical supply business that thrived into a multi-million-dollar business in 3 years. She sold the business a few years later, and the buyers reneged on the deal, and so began an 8-year nightmare in the court system. At the age of 52, dead right, dead broke, and $450,000 in debt. 27 years ago, she discovered the profession of network marketing industry, and it changed her life forever. She now has an international business with over 800,000 friends, distributors, and customers all around the world. She has discovered the secret to making money on the internet and truly enjoys sharing it with her friends. Have you heard the saying, she says, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear? Well, you're obviously ready. Here's Sandi.
My name is Sandi Cohen, and originally from Philadelphia, East Coast gal, and now live in beautiful, sunny Lake Las Vegas, where the sun shines every day. So what do I do? Well, you know how, Herbert, nowadays with this science fiction movie the world is living in, so many people are concerned about their income, what the future is holding for them. And I think many people feel uncertain about not only where they are now, but where they're going. So what we do is really help people put a plan together so they feel safer. And quite honestly, I'm a big believer in multiple streams of income, just like the sharks on Shark Tank. So we help people make some better choices.
What advice would you give someone wanting to pursue a career similar to what you're doing now?
What advice? Well, I think the best advice is obviously to be very open-minded, like a parachute. And a parachute only works if it's open, and so does the mind work the same way. But I think with today's technology, I can remember back when my big tech tool was fax on demand. That was my tech tool, with thermal paper where the ink disappeared after a couple of weeks like magic. But today, we've got so much going on with technology that you can interview people. You can seek out mentors, seek out people who have what you want, who have achieved what you want, and interview them and see if there's a fit that makes sense. Because choosing your partners would almost be like deciding to have your own business and choosing a board of directors. And let's say in order for you to be massively successful, you had to choose the right board of directors, obviously. So who would you want on your board of directors, and who would you want to interview, and what do they bring to the table that could shortcut your success? It's all about systems. It's all about duplication and what works. And are people committed to what I call CANI, CANI, and that's my acronym for constant and never-ending improvement, both for personal growth as well as professional growth.
Which do you feel takes priority, personal and professional?
That's a toughie, Herbert, really, because my father, God bless him, let him rest in peace, used to say, a day shouldn't go by when you don't learn something new. So personal growth is something that never ends, because if you're not growing, you're dying. But when it comes to professional growth, it doesn't matter what your profession is. You could be a realtor, you could be an esthetician, you could be a nail tech, you could be a coach. It doesn't matter. My husband is a retired pharmacist, and yet he still takes continuing education courses for his licensing. So professional growth is something that, in order to get really good at it, it never stops either. So I don't think you can separate one from the other if you truly want to live a life of joy, a life of success. And success is relative to, what do you consider success, and what does someone else consider success? But to me, it boils down to time freedom and financial peace of mind. And that's something that I think the entire world is looking really hard to regain if they lost it, or to move forward and have more as well.
Describe for my audience a typical day for you from the morning till you go to sleep.
Well, first of all, when I get up in the morning, I know the sun's going to shine. Why? Because I live in like Las Vegas, so we only get maybe 5 days of rain a year. But seriously, when I wake up in the morning, I already have my day planned out, because I planned the day the night before. I mean, most people don't realize if you don't plan your day the way you want it, the day will run you. And I remember many years ago, and this goes back to the days when I had my medical and surgical supply business and the pharmacies, I always attacked the big, hairy rocks first, the most difficult tasks. I actually went back to Temple University to take a class in time management, because I was in overwhelm. I mean, at 36 employees, every time the phone rang, somebody was sick or dying, and we had $1 million in receivables, and if one of the billing staff entered a wrong digit on a form, it had to be resubmitted. It was tough enough to wait 3 to 5 months to get paid, and then have to resubmit and wait another 3 to 5 months. So often they just come into my office and say, Sandi, this was rejected. And rather than me making it very clear that they should go back and do the resubmission, I just said, oh, give it to me, I'll do it. Because it was faster for me to do it than to show them how to redo it. And I walked into the break room one day, and they're all sitting there having coffee and donuts, and I've got stacks of work on my desk that they were supposed to be doing. And I went, hey, wait a minute, there's something wrong with this picture. And I went to Temple and took a class on time management. And the one thing I walked away that I'll never forget, and this is probably, 35 years ago, put the monkey back. So it's all about duplication. It's all about systems. So I attack my big rocks first. I always reconfirm with people our upcoming appointments, either the morning of the appointment or the night before. I try to block out at least 30 minutes a day. And we all have, high-tech mobile devices now that have calendars on them. And I remember the days of daytimers. Oh my God, I loved daytimers. They were so beautiful. I had all these gorgeous covers, and I lived by my calendar. If you're not living by a calendar, you're in chaos. You're not productive. And so I look at my calendar. I always look at the calendar before I go to bed. Of course, I look at the calendar again the first thing in the morning, so I know exactly what my day should look like. Look, things happen, things interfere, but the object of the day is to be as productive as I can. And in my world, I only make money when I help other people make money. So it's about giving my time to people who are coachable, who are willing. And if you look at my signature, I have a PS at the end of my name, Sandi Cohen, P.S. Ed behind his name has RPH, which stands for Registered Pharmacist. So people just assume the PS stands for a science of some sort, right. But it's not. Herbert, it stands for problem solver. I'm a problem solver. I have conversations with people. Where's your pain? Where would you rather be? And let's see if we can collaborate or do a joint venture so that you get what you want. And if I help you get what you want, I win as well. And that's basically, my day. And of course, I control both my time and my finances. Like, I got a call this morning and they said, can you be on a plane on Tuesday to Houston for 4 days for a filming? And I went, let me just look at my calendar to make sure I can move some stuff. And we're on a plane next Tuesday morning for 4 days to do a filming. And then the following Tuesday, we're leaving for Mexico. I had my shots. I feel safe now. Ed bought all this crazy gear, this plastic mask, and he bought latex gloves. So we're going to look like monsters walking through the airport. But we're going. We're finally moving out of the house to go places because we love to travel.
In your closet, are all your shirts or your husband's shirts and jackets and clothes hung up in a specific order or color?
Absolutely. It's so funny that you asked that because Ed had a friend who also went to pharmacy school with him forever ago. And he was like me, a clothes horse. And we were going out to dinner or something, and we're going back 45 years ago. And he walked us around and he showed us his bedroom and he opened his closet. And I was in awe, Herbert. Everything was color coordinated. And I said, oh my God, I'm going to do that. And I've been doing that forever.
In your many years of practice, did you ever think of being in the psychology business? Seriously, as a psychologist or a psychiatrist?
From what I've experienced, Herbert, most people choose a health profession because they themselves have some challenges that they want to get better at. And I was always fascinated with the mindset, the psychology of things. But, life sometimes goes down a road that you never thought you'd go down. And even if I thought about it, there wasn't time to take it seriously because stuff was happening. And I had to make choices about where I was going that would not have included going back for a master's degree or what it would take to go into the world of mindset and psychology. But I'm always listening to audios that would include mindset because the truth is we are what we think about. And it's amazing how we can change who we are and what we are by little tiny changes and, plugging into professionals who are, who have the education and the experience to help you the right way.
What do you wish you had known that you know now 20 years ago?
Well, when I think back, when we lost it all and had to rebuild, I wish I had known and somebody had prepared me that nothing stays the same. Expect change. And I don't think I ever really expected change, but it happened. And I think if I was more aware that don't rely on things the way they are, whether it be a crisis that comes into your life or a career change, not by choice. About 30 years ago, someone gifted me a book by M. Scott Peck called The Road Less Traveled. And I'll admit I didn't read the whole book. Often I'll read, a chapter or two in a book, but the first chapter in the book and the first 3 words in the book were shocking to me. And the